telling my friends. They're telling all my followers I've started a live video. Hello, happy Thursday. It is. Hi, Maria. Okay. Oh wait, let me see how to add you. Okay, it says you've joined. Gosh. Maria is joining. It is taking a minute. I don't know if you all can hear me, but I want to say hi to those who have joined. Aisha, yay! Hi. Thank you so much for joining our discussion. Please, drop any questions you may have in the chat. If you have questions, we would love to entertain your questions. So please do that. And while we are trying to get Maria on, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's happening today. So this is another episode of my Happiness Is series that I started maybe about a month ago. And the goal or the purpose of these discussions is to share understandings and experiences around happiness with people I know, right? What are the experiences with happiness? And the reason I want to do that is because I want to inspire others to really be more intentional about their happiness. For me, happiness is, okay, let's see if we can get it on again. Happiness is really about what you decide happiness is, not what someone else decides. And so I love talking to other people to get their take on it. And today I have another guest, and her name is Maria. And we are trying to get her up. You're excited, yay! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we should have a really neat discussion. Maria is not from the United States, as I am. And the last time I had a discussion with someone from outside the United States, it was wonderful. So hopefully we will have another really good discussion where I can, broaden my own mind and my own understanding of happiness outside of the United States and outside of my own personal culture and what it is that I was taught. Okay, let's see if we can get her up again. Go live with Maria. Okay. I don't know. It's spinning, Maria, but then it just drops you. Oh, it's trying again. Okay, it's saying you have joined. Okay. Maybe I can see you in a minute. So are you all having a good week? Is everyone having a good week? How are you all doing this week? It's Thursday, one day before Friday. For many countries, the weekend is our Saturday and Sunday. I know in some parts of the world, the weekend is starting tomorrow, Friday. So that is great for them who are starting their weekend on Friday. Okay. Okay, let's see if she can join again. Okay, I keep saying you joined, but then you're not joining. um, okay, let's see. Well, while we're waiting for Maria, I have had some really good discussions with some other women about happiness. So the last discussion I had was with Miriam, who is also from the United States, as I am, and she is a mom, and a lot of what she is learning, she is saying she is really sharing, with her daughter as best she can. Her daughter is rather young, but she's sharing it as best she can. And she has actually been on this journey of self-awareness, right? And self-discovery, which has led her to understanding what happiness is for her. And it was interesting because in our discussion, she actually didn't realize that. It was kind of revealed. Sometimes in life we are on journeys, and we don't realize that we're on journeys. We are actually evolving and growing, and we don't even know until, we kind of look back and we say, oh, wait a second, what happened there? Or at the time, if someone points it out to us and says, hey, you actually have grown, you actually have changed, something is different about you. And so that was what happened with my discussion with Miriam. She really didn't realize that she had, based on many of her, I'm still trying to get you on here, Maria. I don't know why it's not joining you. It looks like it's trying, but then it just drops. So we'll just keep trying until it
Hi,
comes on.
Dave.
Oh, there you are.
Hi, Kamisha.
Hi. Happy
Hi.
Thursday, Maria.
Happy Thursday, Kamisha. It took me about 10 times to join it, but I've made it through, so that's
I
great.
saw it. I kept seeing it, and I was just kept pushing. Like, I'm
I
gonna get her.
know.
I'm just gonna be patient and wait, and
I
whatever. It's
know.
technology. We can't control these things.
Yeah, especially technology in the Middle East. That's a tricky thing. You know about that.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so Maria, lovely Maria Talakina, thank you so much for joining me on my happiness talk. So tell us where you are, since you just mentioned that you are in the Middle East.
Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Kamisha. I heard your previous talks about happiness, and all of them were amazing, and I'm pretty happy to be part of that talk. And I'm joining from Dubai, UAE. So as you see, technology here is a little bit tricky. It takes a few more times to connect, but it's working. So I'm already happy about that.
Yes, thank you so much. I know it is tricky and it's late there, but not too late. It's not too late. It's
Not
still kind of early.
too late.
Yeah, it's still kind of early-ish. I see behind you that there's still a little bit of light outside today in the Middle
Oh
East.
yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So thank you for joining my happiness talks. I've been having fun. I was saying before you joined that, I've been talking to some really great women about what happiness is for them. And I started this because I just want people to be more intentional, right? About thinking about what happiness is for them and then pursuing their own happiness. And I think that sharing experiences and talking to other people always kind of opens your mind, right? In the way that you're looking at things. So I just want to talk to other people who have great perspectives. And I know you have a great perspective, Maria, because you always have a great perspective.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. We're about to find out, I guess. But everyone I heard from your talks, they give you a different perspective for sure, and that's something to think about, and that's something inspiring for others and for me as well. So yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. What you're doing, and hopefully my perspective is also as good.
Yes. Oh, stop it. It's going to be great. So let's jump in then and tell me what it is that you have learned about happiness. Like, what is taught about happiness in your culture? You can tell us a little bit about your culture, your background,
Mm.
and then what's taught about happiness, if happiness is even something that is discussed.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't think it's widely discussed in my culture. Obviously, that's part of life, and then as you grow up, your parents ensure that they're trying to make sure that you're happy, right? So that's probably their
Yep.
number one priority. You're safe, you're happy as a child, and things like that. But it's not something that you discuss every day. And I think as you grow older and then you start realizing what is it exactly happiness for me and for myself, probably it's not very representative to the culture or something, but I found out for myself that it's just a state of mind in a way, or it's something that you just carry on with yourself, and no matter what happens around you, you can be happy alone, you can be happy in a company, you can be happy doing multiple things or doing nothing, but it's just something that you carry on, and it's a state of your mind despite everything that happens around you.
Mm.
That's what I found out for myself.
So when did you come to this conclusion that it is more of a state of mind than anything else?
I,
Or is it something that you
yeah.
don't even know when you come to? It's just kind of along the way in life. This is just, where you've landed.
Yeah, and honestly, not long ago, I think so. Because actually, now thinking about the culture, I think, or maybe not the culture, but society, like as you know, as you speak to other people and they go through school, universities, work, then everyone thinks that happiness is a different thing to them, and then you also influenced by these conversations like, oh, I'll be happy if I move to this country, or I'll be happy if I have this certain car, or
Mm,
whatever it is, if I
yeah.
possess certain things, and
Mm,
this is only then I will be happy. And then I saw many examples of people actually achieving these goals and finally moving to the other country, or getting this beautiful
right.
car they
Hard.
always wanted. And I haven't seen them happy. To be honest, I haven't seen them as happy as they thought they would be. And this is when I realized, well, maybe it's not about the destination or about the end goal, that you're thinking to yourself, like, once I have X,
Mhm.
or I'll do Y, I'll be happy. And that's how I came out to this idea of, it's probably despite everything that you have or don't have, it's just being happy with yourself and being in peace with yourself. That's what
Mhm.
kind of creates this state of mind, rather than just constantly thinking about the destination.
That is very, very true. So I have mentioned before that here, I think in the United States, a lot of it is about like achievement and
Mm-hmm.
getting to a certain destination. Just as you said, oh my goodness, I'll be so happy when I find that perfect partner and we have these children and we move to this great place
Mm-hmm.
and life will just be amazing,
Yeah.
right? Or it could be possessions, it could be things, I want this certain car or I want this certain, handbag or luxury,
Yeah.
whatever. And you're right, people get these things and they're still not happy. But then what I also find is they just keep accumulating stuff. It's almost like,
Exactly.
okay, so I really wanted this one handbag, let's
Mm.
just say. I'm thinking of a person, that I know, a couple people actually I know. I know a lot of women that like handbags. I like handbags too, so that's how I,
Oh,
I
me
know people.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, we
absolutely.
connect on handbags, right? But you get this goal, you're like, I need this handbag, I have to have it. You get the handbag, and then you're like, you don't carry it. You might carry it like once or twice, and then you just kind of move to the next handbag.
Mm.
Like, okay, now I need this new handbag, or I need this next thing. And you're right, it's more about figuring out, okay, well, first being aware that is not bringing me happiness.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bringing me happiness. How many of these things am I going to consume, right, in an effort to try and be happy? And then saying, okay, well, what is it that brings me happiness? And you mentioned something that I hadn't heard someone else say before, which was peace. You said,
Mm.
what brings me peace?
Yeah.
And that is actually a very, good component of happiness too, right? What
Mm.
is peace? So for you, what brings you peace then?
It's hard to say, to be honest. It's a very good question. Probably I haven't really fully answered that question to myself even, but I think what brings me peace is understanding that I'm probably in peace with yourself, in peace with you as a personality, as a person, as who you are, and what you represent to the world. So being in peace with yourself, and that means, I accept how I look, I accept what I say to myself or to other people, and things like that. So being in peace, obviously there isn't peace as an environment, right? So that I'm
Right,
safe,
right. Internal
I
peace.
have
Which,
home.
mhm.
Exactly, all these things, and definitely that's really vital. And I don't strike it out, but on top of these things, that I'm in peace if I accept who I am. I'm
Mhm.
not trying to change myself. I'm not trying to, change the color of my hair and do or redo my nose, or something like this to change how I look to
Yeah.
achieve certain standards. So as long as I'm accepting myself, I think I'm becoming in peace in a certain way. But obviously, there's so many other components, as being okay, genuinely not in danger in life and things like that. But probably one of the major things is just, being in peace with yourself, as in accepting yourself.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I do suppose there is that kind of external piece, right, that happens like around you,
Yeah,
right? So if you're in an environment that is peaceful, then you have time to kind of examine, okay, the environment is peaceful because there's this hierarchy of needs, right?
yeah,
I forget what it is. Maslow's, I want to say.
exactly.
Safety, right, is like a basic, I think it's like the number one.
Yeah.
So as long as you feel safe and there's peace
Mhm.
around you, then you can start exploring some of these other levels, right?
Exactly.
And that's where the internal peace comes from.
Mhm.
Wow. That is very that is that is very important though, Maria. I don't know that people spend time thinking about what brings them peace.
I
Is
don't
it
think either.
a practice you have, or is it just not, you don't really have a practice?
I don't think I have a practice, to be honest. No, but it's, I feel like, and maybe that really resonates with a lot of people. Like, as go through the time when you are as a teenager,
Mm,
you try and understand like how the world works ultimately, right? Who you are in this world, how the whole thing works around you, and then you as a kid before being a teenager, everything that your parents tell you is that you're beautiful, you're an amazing person, and everything. They kind of cocoon you in love and peace ultimately, right? But then as you kind of go into the outer world, then it probably changes in a way that, some kids get bullied, some kids try and figure out the life and all these things. And then as you go through this stage, this is when I think you kind of try and build the system of understanding who you are and either accepting or not accepting yourself.
mm,
And so I don't really have any kind of meditations or something, but I think kind of passing through these stage, then this is when I realized whatever people tell me outside of, my own kind of understanding of who I am,
mhm.
it really affects me. And then the point is like, how do I let it in or not letting it in ultimately? And then whatever they say, is it true or not? Do I understand this as I see myself, and do I accept myself ultimately?
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like a process that I went through probably. And I'm not saying that I'm not at the end of my life cycle,
No, no, it's
hopefully.
constant, right? It's a constant, like,
That
hopefully
brings me a lot of
evolution.
time.
Yeah, hopefully there's a
Yeah,
constant like, evolution. But you said two things there that I don't know if you recognized. One, you spoke about your parents and that you had this family that kind of surrounded you with like love and encouragement and positivity and like really good energy. And they had an environment that kind of set the ground for like peace and happiness, which is a great place to
mm-hmm.
start. There's people that don't have that, right? So if you don't have a home that you come from that is peaceful, it could be just all kinds of turmoil, drama all the time, then you don't even know what that is, right? So you have had this kind of great foundation. And then the second thing you said about finding your own internal peace as as you're going along with your journey is so you do kind of have a practice, you just don't realize it. You said
Maybe.
you said, to yourself, is this true about me? Right? So when people say things maybe that you don't
Mm-hmm.
understand, or they come at you in a way that you feel is like unfair, or they say something that maybe you're just questioning, asking yourself, like, is this true? Is this true about me? Is a way really of then checking with yourself to kind of maintain your own level of, internal like happiness and understanding. So
Yeah.
that is somewhat of a practice. People, I think when you are paying attention, right? Paying attention to yourself, paying attention to how you feel about things and questioning. Simply just like you said, well, they said blah blah blah. Like, I'm a snob. Is that true? Am I a snob? No, I'm not a snob. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of
Exactly that.
taking it to be like, yes, they said that, it must be true. Maybe I don't know it. Maybe I don't realize it. There must be. You don't have to take that, right? You don't have to
Yeah.
let that in either. to protect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a part of being ignorant or something, but it's a part of understanding how the outer world reacts into who you are and how you react into the outer world. So it's always a combination of things. It's a process, and it's a part of your everyday life. But probably, yeah, as you say, maybe I unconsciously do it, but not that many people kind of stop for a little bit and check in on yourself. What I heard earlier today from my colleague, is it actually true or not? Or other things. If I heard something from a kid at school,
Hmm.
am I that person or not? So that's, as you say, that you're absolutely right. Maybe unconsciously, if you do it, that's one of the ways of checking in on yourself and trying to be in peace and accepting yourself.
Hmm. Well, because I mean, just as we've said, right? You said it's a state of mind, right? For you, like happiness is a state of mind, and you determine what that state is, right? So since you are the one that determines what that state is, you have to protect it. And so maybe one of the ways of protecting it is like really evaluating to let
Mm.
yourself know, okay, is that something I want to let in? Is that
Yeah.
helping me with my state of mind? Is that,
Mm.
harming me? Is it bringing me any kind of, good
Yeah.
feelings? No. Then I'm not going to take it in,
Yeah.
which helps you to, yeah, helps you to, still stay on this path to trying to find happiness, not allowing people and external things to bring you
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. That's very important, and that's kind of part of your kind of like an everyday, routine maybe, and understanding that all the things that happen to you, do you consciously let them in, or unconsciously let them in? Like how much do you control what's happening around you? That's also part of maintaining the happiness, because
Mm-hmm.
we may, be so busy with the things, and then months later we find ourselves out in certain situations that, things that led them to whatever we are today. And I was like, oh my god, how I ended up here, what happened, and where am I, and things like that. So I think part of that is just being conscious about all the little and big things probably in your life that's happening around you, so then that every situation, it has consequences. It has good and bad consequences. Part of that happiness is trying to understand what's, as you say, what's good and what's not good
Mm-hmm.
for your own personal happiness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it sounds like your ideas of happiness have continued to like grow. And so where are you now? Would you say that you are in a place of, a good place for happiness? Are you still in a place where you are still, just constantly trying to figure it out so you can get to a better place?
Mm.
Or what's happening with you and happiness in your life now?
Yeah, definitely. It's not, I don't think it's, as I say, it keeps evolving in a way that, the world keeps changing, and I guess I change as well,
Mm,
in some sense, but I'm definitely happy now, and I'm trying to really maintain this and really guard whatever I have
mm,
with all
mm,
I can, because I feel like the world is just spinning much faster than
mm,
I would have loved to, in a way. And then so I'm trying to preserve all these little things, and my happiness is all these little things combined, probably. There's so much uncertainty going on, and whatever I have in it, even like, little dinners with, the family members, with my partner. These are the pieces of my happiness, to be honest. And I do realize that, sometimes, or some people do not even have that opportunity. So I really need to keep to what I have, and that's something that I'm just working on constantly,
mm,
trying to keep them together and maybe find some other little things that I love and they keep me happy.
mm.
It might change in the way, like, my understanding of the whole happiness and how it works, but I'm definitely happy now. And I just hope I will be happy in the long run, and it's just not going to change.
I mean, I don't see how you could go wrong. It sounds like you're on a good path to, as you said, guarding, keeping guard,
Yeah.
right, of your happiness. And someone else I talked to did say a lot of happiness for her is in the little things, just as you said, having dinners, with your partner, connecting with your family and your friends. Like, it doesn't have to be this big kind of explosive, like, you win the lottery or something. You know what I mean? It's like finding those little moments where you're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, like this conversation, because I haven't seen you since
Yeah.
I left Dubai. So this
I
conversation,
know. I
it makes
know.
me happy. You know what I mean? That you still, you said, I'll talk to you and we can catch up and we can chat and it will be so amazing. And like some people might
Exactly.
think that's like not a big thing. Like, oh, if you had gone to Dubai, that would have been something. I'm like, no, this is amazing. Like, this is perfect. I'm so glad we have the technology that I can even see you. You
I
know what I
know.
mean? Like literally halfway around the world. And so and
Yeah.
that makes me happy too. And it is
Oh,
for me a
I'm
lot of the little things. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's what it's about. So do you have any advice for people or women or anyone who is now on a quest for their own personal happiness?
Yeah, I don't know. And the reason I don't know is that because I'm not sure if that's an advice for happiness or not. But what
Well,
I
what
also
worked for
wanted to
you?
say, what I also wanted to say is that a part of my happiness comes from having a routine in a way. So I'm actually happy in a routine, and that's one of the things that I mean, apart from all the things that I told you about, this little moments and little situations that I cherish, like opportunity to speak to you, as you said, having a routine that makes me happy too. And having those little things that I do repeatedly, like, going to a yoga class or, playing golf, for example, or waking up pretty much at the same time during, every day. Even
Mhm.
these little things that they actually make me happy or, help me to be in peace with myself because I know that every single thing happens at the time and I kind of get used to it. And that was the advice that my friend gave to me a long time ago. And I didn't understand that back then. Like, I was probably much more chaotic myself, and I was always kind of nervous about things that are going on, things are changing. And she told me, if you create this routine around yourself, at least you gain peace. And with peace also comes happiness, as we spoke about that before.
Mhm.
So that would be, I use this advice and that worked for me. So I'll probably give the same advice to everyone else. Try it, that might work.
Mhm.
It could be a base for finding your happiness and starting with peace and this kind of building this kind of routine or a little world around yourself that brings you joy and happiness.
Yeah, I like that. Make it a routine.
Mm.
I can see that too because there definitely is. So as a parent, like when I was a young parent, my kids are old now. Well, I'm gonna say I'm still a young parent, but with my
Oh,
children younger.
yeah.
We were told to, like you said, create routines and like boundaries for the
Mhm.
kids because it leads them to feel safe, right? There's a level of safety, and I guess from safety becomes peace, right? From peace, happiness. Like it's almost
Yeah.
a line, I guess, that's drawn there that I didn't realize
Mhm.
before. But there was this idea of like creating a routine because they can kind of trust and know like what's going to happen,
Mhm.
right? And when you have a lot of instability or, you're unsure about things and confusion, that is not going to lead to feeling safe or feeling at peace, right? Which then would could lead to happiness. So
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that before, but that is absolutely great advice,
All right.
Maria. Like
I'm
that really
glad.
is. Yeah, no, it's absolutely great advice. And it's advice, that child psychologists and I guess like pediatricians are kind of giving out, as a parent. Um,
Yeah.
so wow, that's a good one. I think that's a really good one because it's also something that allows you to work from the inside out, which is a lot of what we've been saying,
Yeah.
right? Like you said, build, a routine around you, around your day,
Yeah.
around, adding some things that, are going to bring you some happiness here and there, right?
Mhm.
Not being as focused externally or what other people are trying to demand of you. It's building your own routine. Oh, that's really good. Uh,
Yeah, I think I think in principle, like how I see that working, and maybe that's very technical, but in a way that, as we talked about, if we're looking for the outer things or possessions, the happiness works as a sporadic thing. Like you go up by having it. So
yeah.
when you have it, this is where you reach the peak of happiness, and then you go down as you kind of get used to these things, or they're not really novelty anymore to you,
Mhm.
and that kind of brings you down to the point when you require more and more things to be happy. And
Mhm.
so you always go up and down in this case, and then happiness becomes more sporadic or
Um,
occasional. But if you build a routine, you try to minimize these ups and downs by having the same things at the same time, the things that you love doing,
mhm.
maybe things that you don't like doing, but they still bring you certain things like, stability and stuff like that. But by normalizing it, this is how you can stretch happiness in a way,
Yeah.
technically, as not always going up and down, because I don't think anyone can actually, uh, I don't know, be happy, be happy by having that kind of sporadic happiness every single time. This is probably a very exhausting thing to do.
Yeah, it can be trying for sure. There has been, some people who said they kind of like maintain like a contentment or like a joy kind of, it sounds like what you're saying as
Yeah,
well. So you have this place where you are having good feelings, kind of maintaining them, right? And sometimes they go
exactly.
higher and sometimes they go lower, but you try to at least maintain a middle, not just allowing yourself to always be moving, bouncing up and down and
Yeah.
extreme, constantly. That definitely makes sense. Oh wow. See, this has been great. Do you
Yay!
have any this has been great. Do you have any oh my gosh, see it's already 11:03. See, 30 minutes goes by so quickly. Um did you have any further advice or anything else you wanted to share on happiness?
I would probably say that being happy is definitely a journey, not a destination. Maybe as simple as it sounds, and everyone talks about it, but just trying to accept this fact to yourself that it's
Mhm.
not about where you're gonna end up, and it's not about what you're gonna end up having. And just accept this fact that comes with a lot of benefits, and then re-understanding what happiness is to you. That definitely is a part of your own reassessment. um, I just hope that everyone will be happy or are happy now, and these talks that you have, Kamisha, are really amazing for other people to think about. And when I first heard this conversation you had with Sutra,
Mhm.
I was like, wow. So that made me think, am I happy right now? What am I doing? All of these things, just the little things, but like checking in on yourself, like reassessing your own idea. And I feel like it's just very useful, and just keep hearing from different people and see what fits to you. That's probably an advice that I would give to myself. Nothing is nothing fits all, right?
No.
One size doesn't fit all. So that's why you're having this conversation with different people. And I would just give an advice: listen more to all of your talks. I would definitely do that. And find more things for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about, a self-discovery, right? It's self-awareness and being on your own journey and figuring things out for yourself. But if you're not paying attention or not even thinking about it, then you're not gonna figure it out. But this has been great. This is great. So I guess my last question is, let's see, I always ask the person this. So, when was the last time you felt happy and what were you last doing? It could be a big thing or a small thing, and it could be materialistic or it can be like super spiritual. It doesn't matter. But what was your last happy moment?
I gotta. I would say yesterday. I actually said it out loud, to be honest. So I
Oh,
kind of registered the moment, and that was great. That was interesting, and that was we were just shopping with my partner, and we got those, little things that we never tried before. Oh, look at this banana. It looks really weird. Let's try that. Or look at these things. And then we just got a bunch of things that we haven't really tried or haven't eaten before for a long time, maybe. And then we sat on the balcony, and it's just an evening, very peaceful. And then we started, you know, trying all these things, and I was just happy, you know, having this moment and having a laugh together and all these cute little things to try. And I just said, like, I'm really happy now. And that's definitely
oh,
something that I just remember from yesterday. And I hope I'll be happy today again. And I mean, I'm definitely happy now, but like all these little moments that you kind of register in your
yeah.
head, that they come and
That is amazing. I love that. Just sitting like with somebody and that you adore and just like having fun, like eating funky foods. Like that
yeah,
is so cool.
yeah, it was as simple as
And the
that,
fact
but
that
that
you
was
called
great.
it out, like that you called it out to yourself, right? Because we hear ourselves and we say things all
Yeah,
the time, right? And lots of times we're not saying the best things to ourselves, but you're like, hey, I'm happy. Like, this is amazing. So your brain
yeah,
can remember that moment for you. You know what I mean? Oh my
absolutely.
God. I love
And
it.
I
That's a
think,
great way to end this.
hey,
Oh my Lord. I love it. I love it. Yes. And everyone out there, next time you have a happy moment, say it to
say
yourself.
it,
Say it out
say it.
loud. Yes. Cement it in your mind. I'm happy. This is amazing. I feel so happy. This is great. Oh my Lord. I love that. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm excited. This has been great, Maria.
I'm happy. Thank you for having me, Kamika. That was such a great conversation, and I'm gonna continue listening to you and see different perspectives. And thank you so much for doing the whole thing. And it's amazing.
Thank you. Well, thank you for joining me. I so appreciate it. I'm gonna keep going. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna keep
Do
going,
it.
but as long as people want to talk to me, I guess I'll keep going. So yes, I definitely have another one scheduled for next, I think Wednesday. But I'll be, promoting, of course. But thank you so much, Maria,
Thank you,
for joining
Kamika,
me. So good to
and thank
see
everyone
you.
for joining. That's been great.
And you look so happy and so
Oh, thank you.
peaceful. And oh man, I'm so happy to see your lovely face. I feel
Thank
your like
you.
happy energy, like it's coming through. So this is
Oh,
amazing. This is really good. Yeah, I'm so excited for you. So thank you so
thank
much,
you.
everyone, for joining us on our happiness talk. Feel free to message us and follow both of us, of course. And if you have any questions, we'll be happy to chat with you. So thank you, Maria. Enjoy the rest of
Thank
your
you,
evening and have a great
Kamika.
weekend.
You too, Kamisha. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.